And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
Hey folks, I'm Tom Vasel, and today we're taking a look at a kids game from Space Cowboys called Yum Yum Island. In this game, there are all these wonderful animals on the island who are eating food until a big giant guy called Ferdinand shows up and starts eating all their food. They need help, so you are flying a pelican in to drop food to these animals. But you're doing it without being able to see. What Yum Yum Island is like I said, a cooperative game here. You're working together where you will have your eyes covered like this and drop food onto the table. Now, this is actually not the first time I played a game like this. I played a game from, I believe, Eagle Griffin a long time ago where you kind of drop meeples and there was a trader and stuff. This is not that, although there's a lot of similarities between the games. But the designer of this game has done some really cool, innovative stuff, like Cordo's an innovative game. He's done Doodle Quest for kids. And so I was certainly interested to give this one a try. And the component quality from Space Cowboys was so well done that I really, had a lot of, high hopes for the game. So that's what this game is kind of in theming wise. Let me show you how it works and then we'll come back and for final thoughts. You can play with any animals you want. The more animals you have, the harder it is. This is what they recommend to start, but there are other animals that you can play with that you can place around the table. Each player is going to have a mask that they're going to wear. You'll have a die for the active player, and then you have a turtle which goes in front of the active player, which has the green and pink food. Each animal wants a specific type of food, so you can see the snakes here want 1 pink food each. The alligators here want 3 pink food each. And the elephant here, the baby elephant, wants 2 green food. So what you do in your turn is you decide what you're going to do after rolling the dice. So when you roll a die, there's 3 different options that you can do. One of them here is if you roll this side, which is on 3 of the sides, you must add 1 pink and 1 yellow food to the giant's mouth. Start pushing those down his throat. You're then going to try to feed an animal, and other players can help you. Here you can try to feed an animal and nobody else can help you. And here, when you roll the yellow one, you're first of all going to pick any animal that has 1 food token in its mouth and bring it off the board. It's awesome. As long as they have 1 food token, they're rescued. And then you do this side. So now, when you feed an animal, whether you do it with other players' help or not, you're going to pick which animal you want to do. So let's say I want to feed the pig here. So I'll point this here because I'm allowed to start here feeling it and then head towards the pig. I know the pig needs 4 food of any type, so that's great. I'll close my eyes, and if players help me, they can give me directions, but I'm going to pick up 4 food without looking. And then starting here, I can remember, okay, now I know the pig is somewhere around here. You're allowed to use these trees when you're moving, but you're not allowed to touch the ground. If you do, you crash and you get nothing. But once you think you're over the pig, and whether, again, players can say left, right, forward, backwards, whatever it is to help you, or they can't say anything, you then drop the food. Well, that was pretty bad. None of the food landed in the pig's mouth. So all that missing food would go into the giant. I was too high. Probably the players would have told me to go a little bit lower. There, all the food would have landed in the pig's mouth, and the pig then would be rescued. Now, if you put the wrong food in the mouth, which is possible, because you are grabbing the food randomly with your eyes closed, then that food also goes to the giant. And the game will end when the giant is completely filled up with food. You can see the food goes down the giant's stomach here and all the way down to the bottom, and then we'll fill up his mouth. And when you can't put any more food in, players lose. When you rescue all the animals, players win. Some of the animals have special abilities. For example, if you play with the baby elephant, you put it on top of the mama elephant and you have to feed that first. The lion is a good one. You pick up him to the trees, drop him, and if any of the food tokens fall out, they're removed from the game. The spiders, when you finish them, they're going to let you sort these and put the pinks on one side and the greens on the other side to help players. The beavers, when you complete them, they chop down every tree, so you no longer have that help for players and stuff like that. Either way, players together are going to win or lose. The components for the game are absolutely fantastic, starting with the inside of the box. The masks here have a nice drawstring on them. They're not that uncomfortable. They block your sight. These tiles are thick tiles with the recessed section in the middle. I really like how they look. They have great artwork on them. It's funny to see the mouths. This giant here, which is a really big, giant, fat guy here, is neat, and how the different tokens slide down his stomach, so that's a lot of fun. The trees are well done. It's a big, chunky die. This is a great game with great quality components for kids. The game is silly fun. Now, don't get me wrong, there's going to be some luck involved in the game. You can have everything in the right place, you just grab the wrong stuff, drop it. But the other players, many times, and a good 50% of the rolls on the die, are not going, they can't help you out. I don't find it actually as fun. Everyone's like sitting there holding their breath, and I watch my kids, and they're like, and they don't want to say anything as they see the person's hand nowhere near the island. Then they move a little bit closer. Everyone's like, please, 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 please. I mean, you could sit there and you're measuring it out and thinking about it. Okay, I'm going to start here. I need to put my arm out that far. Okay, this is mostly greens here. There's a pink, but hopefully I don't grab it. Okay, go for it, grab it, and move out there. Now, when other players are helping you, much easier, although the game counteracts that by force-feeding Ferdinand a green and a pink token to keep him eating. But having everyone say, no, right, left, no, pull back, a little higher, a little bit lower, over here, back, forward. And that's great. What I like about this game is that it helps kids communicate with each other in a cooperative way. Hey, move your arm this way, do this. And then when the other person succeeds, there's cheering. When they don't succeed, there's certainly groans of disappointment, but then you just try to win. The game is pretty winnable on its base level. Once you add in more animals, it's a lot more difficult. I would not add in all the animals, for example, because you rolling the die and adding a pink and a green will probably happen before you can feed all the animals. Still, it's a lot of fun, high quality components. It's going to work great for kids. I think it might be a little too simplistic for adults, but it's also a game you can play with your kids and they'll probably do better than you at it. And I'm always a big fan of stuff like that. That's Yum Yum Island. It's also a fun name to say. Dice Tower Judgment, kid approved.